Every morning at exactly 7 a.m., an old man named Arjun sat on the same wooden bench by the lake. He wore a worn-out brown hat, carried a thermos of tea, and always smiled at the rising sun like it was a dear friend. Locals knew him as Grandpa Arjun. Some greeted him, others passed by. But no one knew the story behind the bench, or the reason he never missed a morning. Arjun had once been a quiet shopkeeper in a bustling town. He sold books, not for money, but for moments. To him, every book carried a lesson, and every customer was a story waiting to bloom. He lived with his wife, Mira, who was the heart of his quiet world. Together they dreamed not of riches, but of days filled with laughter, tea, and words. One day, as autumn leaves fell gently from the trees, Mira fell ill. She held his hand and whispered, "Promise me, you'll still find joy in the little things, even if I'm not there to see them." She passed on a Sunday. The silence she left behind was louder than any noise Arjun had ever heard. The day after her funeral, he walked to the lake alone. He sat on their favorite bench, the one they called the front row to heaven. And so began his ritual. For 15 years, he returned every single morning, not out of grief, but out of gratitude, for memories, for love, and for time. He watched the seasons change, birds return, and people grow. He offered advice to young lovers, smiled at joggers, and handed out words of hope to those who needed them. One winter morning, Arjun didn't come. A small envelope lay on the bench. Inside was a letter written in shaky handwriting. To whoever sits here next, know that life is not measured by wealth or years, but by the moments you truly felt alive. This bench taught me that. Take a deep breath, smile at the sunrise, forgive more, love fully, and if you're lucky enough to grow old, make it beautiful. From that day on, the bench was never empty. People came, read his letter, and found comfort in his words. Arjun had left the world quietly, but in doing so, he made noise in 1,000 hearts. Because sometimes the most ordinary lives leave the most extraordinary legacies.